Hello, Nerd Initiative family. We are back with Man Without Fear Mondays. I am Megan Nicole, and this is our editor in chief, Matt. And today we are going to break down the comics that you guys recommended us to check, more namely Daredevil, and more namely Charles Soule's Daredevil from 2015. And because no one really told us that's like over 30 comics, we're going to be breaking these down in separate videos. So today is 1 through 5, and I'm very excited for you guys to hear what we have to say. Matt, how are you on this fine day?
I'm good. Yeah, I knew it was a long run. I've never really read it aside from dabbling in the Muse little tidbits there, but it's over 30 issues just like that. And if we got to do Zdarsky's run, we got to do Mark Waid's run. So we decided it's going to be best to just break it down. Otherwise, we'll be here all day,
All day.
which is fine because I think this actually works pretty well as an initial arc with Charles Soule because it gives us a lot right off the bat.
It really did. And it was such a different vibe than we've read so far on this podcast. So I'm very excited to talk about it because it's different. You don't really see Daredevil as a mentor figure in most character arcs, but this one it was different. I like that.
Yeah, he really refuses, and it's probably one of the only times you really see him as a mentor, but also he's one of the few heroes that really never take on anybody else. I mean, even Spider-Man has a mentee, I should say, and then really everybody. Hulk takes on, She-Hulk in some regards, and everybody who you think would be alone kind of really takes somebody on, but Matt's always been a solo guy. And also, not for nothing, this kicks off in such a fun way. And not only is Matt bringing on the mentor, but he's also really making his best friend mad and hate him in this one as well.
Foggy is the backbone of the Daredevil comics, and I I I either want to adopt him or just want to feel bad for him.
Yeah, I don't know, because this does start off. I mean, the first pages, I mean, initially, right off the rip, Daredevil in his black suit. I want to talk about this suit real quick because this might be like my favorite iteration of the Daredevil suit. What are you thinking about this black suit? Because this is an issue number one, and they're not just starting off with a whole new direction. I mean, Charles Soule and crew are hitting us with this very different rendition of the Daredevil outfit.
It looks a lot like the outfit we're getting in Born Again season 2.
It does. It does. I
Yeah.
love just the black. Something with the reverse black and red really sticks out to me, and I dig it, especially with his hands wrapped like a boxer kind of would, and that more ninja feel. Because I do believe Charles Soule's run is when Matt at some point kind of takes on that leadership of the hand. I could be mistaken. We're gonna get there, but yeah, off rip, he's diving off a bridge to go save, of course, a person who's being sought after the law, and that takes him to Foggy's house. And Foggy's like the only one who remembers who Matt is, because Matt chose to get rid of everybody's memory who knew that Matt Murdock was Daredevil, except for Foggy, and poor Foggy.
Foggy is so done. It's funny because Foggy it's it's funny because Matt has so many different dynamics with people, but at the base of it, he is too afraid to get too close to someone because they could get hurt. And I think that really goes into why he never has a mentee with him because he doesn't want to lose them. But with Foggy, that is like the one person who knows everything and knows Matt inside and out, and he is massively screwing that up for for both of them.
Yeah, he's using Foggy's apartment to take this guy that he pulls out of the river, right? Billy, who Matt's a prosecutor in this run as well. He's no longer a defense attorney, he's a prosecutor. He pulls this guy out. He takes him to Foggy's apartment without even asking him, sets him up on his couch, and Foggy's like, "Dude, what are we doing here, man? Listen, it's not enough that I'm the only person that knows you're Daredevil because for some reason you made everybody else forget, but now you're harboring criminals and everybody else. But it's a guy who's supposed to be testifying against the villain that we meet in this first arc, and I kind of want to see this guy in live action. The 10 fingers, like,
Oh my god,
first of
yes.
all, the name itself, I mean, it's very on the nose because we meet Mr. 10 Fingers and lo and behold, he has 10 fingers.
What I like about this is that Daredevil is so aware of how silly all of this is. He's like, yeah, he tells his mentee who is Blind Spot, he says, yeah, he has 10 fingers because he stole powers from the hand. And you can kind of feel him losing confidence in his sentence. He's like, I know, I get it. Yeah.
It is hilarious objectively, and this is what makes comic books so much fun is, yeah, so there's this group, they're called the Hand, and the bad guy stole their powers, and now he's got 10 fingers on each hand, and I think that's what makes a lot of this work so well is Matt his narration to himself is, "Yeah, this sounds really dumb when you think about it." And what are we he even Matt's like, "What am I doing here? What the hand 10 finger what are we doing?" And it's almost fourth wall breaking.
Yeah, because you can just feel the secondhand embarrassment. He's like, Sam, I'm sorry, dude. You're just a guy from Chinatown. I get it. But it gets weird out here, and it's gonna get even more weird here. So with the first comic we have, he is back in black on his home turf. Daredevil begins again in New York City as new enemies emerge, which is 10 fingers. He's on a new side of the law in the district attorney's office, which we have we have reason to believe is going very well. And until it doesn't. But he's also fighting crime in the shadows, prosecuting bad guys in the light. It's a whole new chapter for our dude here. And he looks good doing it in his amazing suit.
He does. And so how do you feel after reading this first issue? Because kind of a lot happens. Like you said, it's a whole new start. It's first issues when you're starting fresh are make or break for the most part, right? It's either you're
Yeah.
on board or you're kind of half in, which is going to make you pick up the second issue, or you're just, hey, this is not for me. So what are you thinking at this point?
Honestly, when I started reading it, I was so tired, and I was like, "I'll just get one out of the way, and I'll read them to next tomorrow." Tell me why I sat there and read all 5 in one sitting, and I was like, "How did Charles do that to me?" Like, it was just it was very, very compelling because it's so gritty, it's so dark. It's like, it shows so many different sides of Matt, but it also shows so many different sides of, Hell's Kitchen society too, and I thought it was a very, very compelling first start for this arc.
I agree. I'm with you. I sat down and I was right there. I go, I'm gonna take a nap, but because I just got done cleaning the house. I go, I'm gonna take a nap. I'm just exhausted. But then I sit down and I start reading, and then next thing you know, I'm going on to issue 6, and I'm go, well, I got to remember and take notes for issues 1 through 5. I gotta pump the brakes a little bit. But I think what really stood out to me, especially in this first, is Matt does have Blind Spot, who they make a point to talk because this whole kind of first arc is about immigration and immigrants because
Interesting.
10 Fingers is pulling and luring in illegal immigrants, and Blind Spot himself is an immigrant. He's not an American citizen. And I think that to me stood out so relevant, especially in the time we're living in right now. And then just to continuously kind of hammer on that point, and I was like, wow, this may be 11 years gross, first of all, because 2015 still is like last year to me. But
Yeah.
it's very relevant today, and I actually really enjoyed Blind Spot and Matt's dynamic, even though Blind Spot does not know who Daredevil actually is, and they really touch on that as well.
I also wanna say I really like that his, mentee is named Blind Spot
Yeah,
when it's Daredevil. I thought that was kinda cute.
but he doesn't know he's blind as well, which is hilarious because he makes mention. He goes, "Oh wait, he doesn't know I'm blind."
Oh my god, that though he mentions that twice to himself in this arc, and both times I got a good laugh because I was like, "Oh my god, they don't know." Like, I think I would know. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I
Like,
have a feeling or something because even Blind Spot goes, "How does he always know where?" Because Blind Spot's whole thing is he made an invisible suit, and
yeah.
so he goes invisible, and yet there's times where Blind Spot goes, "How can he know where I'm at? How does he do that?" It's just hilarious because, yeah, Matt's blind. Imagine finding out that your mentor is a blind dude, and and yet he still sees and he knows everything that's going on. I don't know. That's
I wouldn't
Even
believe
more
he was
impressive.
blind. I just wouldn't, because this is a guy who's training Blind Spot vigorously. He is making him put in the work, he is training him, teaching him, and if you were to tell me, "Oh, he's blind," I'm like, "No, he's not."
No
Okay.
way.
No,
Absolutely not. No.
someone's lying.
I'm with you there. So take us. We kind of issue one kind of takes us through this. We meet 10 Fingers, and take us through what happens at the end of issue one as we go into issue number 2 here.
So, issue number 1. Well, I feel like we said most of
Well,
what's
we did,
happening.
and that's
Yeah.
at the end is when this is when we actually see 10 Fingers for the first time. To be
Yeah,
continued.
yeah, yeah.
And
So,
now
he is
taking us into
just
issue 2.
10 Fingers had a vibe to him, an Iron Man 3 villain vibe to him.
Yeah,
Just like the vagueness of him, you could kind of hear the echo in his voice, and when we finally meet him, we're like, "Oh, this is the guy. This guy runs a church. Like, you didn't have to tell me, and I would have told you that."
very cult leader there. In that you're right. The way he talks, and there's even a scene later on where he kind of hand over Matt's shoulders there, whispering sweet nothings into his ears. And it's I think the most uncomfortable. It's not even the green eyes. It's the fact that this man has 10 fingers per hand. I can't imagine having that on your shoulders. Ew, gross.
Oh, no, yeah, that kinda made my stomach turn a little bit because I was like, "There's just so many fingers. That's just so unhinged."
Ugh.
But
Ugh.
also,
Something
at the
about this.
end, we also see that 10 Fingers is having a personal hand in ruining Matt's career. So
Yes, what happens?
so Matt has Billy there so he can go in front of the judge and talk about 10 Fingers and his horrible church, but then 10 Fingers and his people get into the precinct, takes out everyone, by the way, on his way there, which I thought was weird that Daredevil had no idea.
He couldn't hear them at all, which is really kind of
Weird.
weird to me for how
Yeah.
good his sense he can hear everything. And so they really got in under the radar.
Yeah, so they do that, and they finally reach their boy, their guy, and they do enough to him to where he's like, "No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm good. I'm not gonna go in
They
front of
cut his
jury.
fingers
Not
off.
snitching." Yeah, they cut, like, 4 of them off, and the finger thing needs to stop.
Yeah, it's really weird. The obsession with fingers in this initial arc is kind of weird because they make him basically, yeah, they cut off kind of like this. So he's got 3 fingers for each, like pew pew, his little finger guns are
Yeah.
left.
Yes, and Matt is not pleased because he just heard from his boss that, "You're killing it. I didn't think you would," which was rude, by the way. "You're
Yeah,
killing it. You're doing great." And now Matt just saw his career poof before his eyes.
he's got no career. Billy won't do it anymore. He's getting basically put on low level prosecution now, which even Matt goes, my talents should be better served, with the big cases. And then we also in this issue kind of meet the eights, who are the 10 fingers little elite group that he shares some of his powers with at the same time. And they're just kind of like, they kind of look like Mortal Kombat villains to me in a way where they're
Yes.
just, okay, I wasn't sure if I was the only one that got kind of that vibe. I don't know. It
No,
very
no,
felt
yeah.
just Mortal Kombat attire at the very least.
And they had the vibe, like, their attitudes, they were so serious, but also, I wanna point out, what is it with 10 Fingers and people's moms?
Yeah, because that's gonna play a very big role here soon. And his right hand actually, going back to Billy, they were supposed to kill Billy, and they didn't. They cut his fingers off, and then the hand or 10 fingers goes, you know what? Your loyalty still needs to be tested. I have no doubt that you're fierce. And then that leads us to a really cool training montage I do want to talk about because something that stood out to me with Matt Milla and Ron Garney's art is when we do get the training montage with Blind Spot and Daredevil. I like how they drew Daredevil's senses in this.
Yes, because it is his radar sense, but it it's so much different this time. It's not usually like the, ooh, how do you
Well,
say it?
typically it's like sonar kind of
Yeah,
type.
that's it.
Yeah. Whereas this is, it's almost, I don't even know what the right word is, but it's very cool because the colors are different and it's almost like a Predator's
Yes.
invisibility cloak that you see in the
It's
movie.
like the
That's kinda
heat.
what it feels like. Yeah.
It's like he's picking up
He
on his,
yeah.
body heat, yeah, and I love how they did that because it showed that he does know what's going on. It's wild to me that he was able to know when he's invisible, though, because it's like you still
Yeah.
pick up on that body, but
He
how do
was
you know?
sensing like that his body nonetheless when he's invisible. I would have thought you would have just seen maybe the heartbeat, or he would have talked
Yeah.
more about the heartbeat, because there is a sequence where he throws that spear, barely missing Blind Spot on purpose, and that's when Blind Spot's like, "Dude, just because you can see me, nobody else is gonna be able to," and that's also a really interesting because he brings up his Twitter followers, his 50,000 Twitter followers. He goes, "I'm going to call you the Daredevil, the man without fair or fairness." And I just thought Daredevil at this point is like, dude, shut up. All right. Nobody plays fair in them streets.
Well, also, like, no one can see you blind spot, but, like, why didn't you make your mask invisible too?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you brought that up, because when he goes invisible, he still has the outline of his white mask. And that kind of defeats the purpose of being invisible, doesn't it?
It does. And, like, it's fine. It's whatever. I mean, if someone was kicking my ass at that point, I don't think I'd notice the mask, but it was
Not at all.
no. But at the same time, it's like, "Come on, man. You gotta tighten up here. You're an illegal immigrant here, first of all, that's a problem. NYPD does not play."
No,
So
at all. Like, they're one of the most unfair police forces in America. Like, that's never changed. So,
yeah.
hello.
Your mentee, he is a lawyer, a prosecutor. You're being really loud right now, and you're stopping at the local Dollar General for D batteries.
Hold on, man. My batteries are out. Hey, can I borrow like $5? I'm $5 short. My suit doesn't power on. Sorry. And I do love that shows the disparity between them, because Matt is so professional in this sense, whereas Blind Spot thinks, "Oh, I can just go, hold on, my batteries are dead." And it just shows there's so much naivety with Blind Spot still. And it really comes out in this issue, which I thought was hilarious, because Daredevil himself goes, "Why am I even doing this? Because why am I taking on a mentee right now? I have no reason to do this."
I think what matters well, not matters. I think what I was most impressed about was that Matt, he did question it, but at the same time, he kinda shut himself down, was like, "Because I trust him, because
Yeah.
he deserves it."
That's a really good point, is Matt's ability to trust. But even though he trusts him, but he doesn't trust him enough to know his identity, which I thought was awesome too, because again, that plays into, I don't want anybody to get hurt. And then ultimately this issue ends because the hand come back, as we get that
Yes.
revelation with 10 fingers sharing his powers. This is when the hand shows back up. And I was pretty pumped, and I do love like the previews to the next issues at the end. And this is going to take us into issue 3, where the action really starts to pick up.
Yes, so with the hand, what I found very, very interesting was where Matt was kinda being pulled apart by himself. He's like, "10 Fingers is a bad guy, but the hand is bad too, and they will kill." And he's like, "And
Yes,
this guy's just like a fake church guy, so I gotta save his life."
he does kind of talk about this here, and he's in the middle of fighting, and he goes, "Wait, I'm defending 10 fingers? What am I doing? Like, I should just step aside and let these guys duke it out." But then he goes, "No, nobody dies on my watch." And again, that's one of those moments where you really love Daredevil for that reason. Although I think he's a little bit wrong in this sense. I'd be like, "Hey, tear each other apart and we'll go from there." Because the hand is just off doing their own thing. They don't care until they get messed with. And so maybe if they take care of your problem, Matt, they're just gonna go off into the ether again.
See, I disagree with you where I think he's wrong because he does have a point that this congregation put their blind faith in this man, and they're under his control. He they s
That is a good
he
point.
he will willingly let them die for him, and Daredevil knows, like, these people are gave him everything, and now they're gonna die for him because he stole power? So I think there is an interesting I don't know, there's an
No,
interesting
I
play
think you're right,
happening.
because it is not really, they thought they were just giving themselves up to a church, but now they're under this spell. And so if Matt does step aside, the hand is going to kill innocent people in a roundabout,
Yeah.
because they fell into this cult. 10 Fingers is wrong, but these people by and large are innocent. And I think that makes a really good point, and you are correct about that. And Blind Spot gets himself involved as well, and there's a mention of, oh man, I hope Blind Spot's been paying attention for the 20 training sessions we might have had at most.
I like how through all that, Matt's like, "Oh, man, blind spot." He just has his mind on him, and then I think at one point he's like, Stop thinking, just start
Yeah.
reacting, stop thinking." And that was interesting to me because Matt is always so meticulous in every detail, but in that time, he's like, "Let your animal instincts take over."
He has to, because this leads to some really stellar artwork, because we get this big splash page. There's the hand members are getting shot, but there's also some of these church members are getting stabbed through the neck, for example, and they're getting brutally killed. And like the hand has these claws that kind of remind me of, which I forget which Wolverine movie it is, because they all kind of blended together. But the
Yes, they
bad
did.
lady with her adamantium claws that come out that she
Yes.
has, that's what those claws reminded me of. And so they're all fighting each other. It's like big chaotic mess. And Matt kind of does have to just, hey, I gotta just go over here and let go and fight. Otherwise, I'm gonna die too.
Yes, that basically, yeah, and we do get a bigger idea of who Ten Fingers is as a cult leader. We see that he's willing to just let his people die. We see just how far he's willing to go to keep his own power, and I
Mhm.
think that says so much about who the Hand is trying to get rid of and who Daredevil is trying to work on both in his career and in his nightlife.
Yeah, and we even see it at the end of this battle, because at the beginning, Ten Finger goes, they're gonna run away, and when they eventually do disappear, he comes out and says, "You see, the hand has fled. Everybody is safe. I first saw this. There was no danger, and I protected my people." And of course, everybody's enthralled in the cult, so they kind of believe him. And that's when we get the creepy Ten Fingers coming up behind Matt, and he whispers in his ear, "I forgive you." And this scene just left me kind of with chills, because it felt so creepy. Um, I get Kenneth Copeland vibes from this guy. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like this big mega church leader
Mhm.
who just very is creepy, and that's kind of the vibes I got from him as well. Before we go back into a blind spot training montage.
Was I the only one that thought when he said, "I forgive you" in his ear, he was gonna be possessed?
Thank you. Yes, I
Yeah.
thought that's what was happening. I thought at that point he was luring and he was gonna possess Matt into his cult to fight on his behalf. That's exactly what I thought was gonna happen too.
Yeah, because he does have powers. Like,
Mhm.
it's not shown very much in these 5 comics until the very end, but
Yeah.
he does have, like, supernatural powers, so I thought, like, "Oh, well, sorry, Blind Spot. Your day is ruined. You're about to be in a whole world of hurt because Daredevil is now taking over."
Yeah, that's what I because then we go right to where Blind Spot, and we get the Matt saying, "Hello, Blind Spot," and something about that line also just felt cold. And so I thought, "Oh, he is under his spell." And then Blind Spot goes, "How do you know where I'm all? Are you ever gonna tell me?" And Matt goes, "No, probably not." Uh, but then very quickly we do kind of see that, hey, guess what, man? He's not possessed. And I go, oh, okay, thank God. But that would have added some pretty interesting elements right off rip here. But that's when Matt kind of goes, hey, man, blind spot. We don't know what his end game is. But the hand, they are bad people. They are not to be messed with. And he's kind of really trying to give Blind Spot a lesson here. And it's really funny because, Blind Spot goes, dude, I've got a phone. I'm only illegal. I'm not Amish. And I thought that line was hilarious.
It was yeah, we see Blind Spot you can kinda, like, get the vibe where he's like, "I am too far deep in this. I am over my head,"
Yeah.
because Matt's like, "Yeah, the Hand is gonna kill people. Yeah, they ran away last night, but they'll be back. If they want someone dead, they're gonna be dead."
Yeah. And Blind Spot's also hurt. That's why this whole exchange comes up, because he's bleeding out. And Matt goes, you should probably go to the doctors. And that's, again, brings up something really relative. He doesn't have health insurance because he's an illegal immigrant. And that's
Yeah,
when Matt kind of hooks him up with a night nurse to be like, hey, she takes care of people like us. And I thought that was kind of cool. And I love when they kind of explain how these superheroes who don't have powers necessarily get fixed up without going to the doctor all the time. And
yeah,
it's because they do have these night nurses, like we see in the TV show with Claire. And now we get somebody here, right? That we kind of just explained it a little bit.
yeah, when he says, "We have a school nurse," I was like, "Oh, you sweet poor baby
Yeah.
angel." I love
Oh,
you.
Linda, and she even got, like, a school nurse name, Linda.
Yeah.
Linda's gonna help you out, and it's like, "What? Okay." Just like I picture this old white lady just coming after off her shift, being like, "Let me fix you up, dear," and just giving him cookies while she's stitching up his bleeding out wound in s weird ways.
And she's like, "So what do you do?" "Oh, you
Yeah.
turn invisible. That's so
"Oh,
nice."
can I see it?" Sir, I can see your face." Haven't figured that part out, but, it is kinda funny, and then this is when Matt gets yeah, he gets fired more or less. Not fired, he gets demoted now at this point
Might
to
as well
go,
have been fired.
he should have been because yeah, he goes, "Man, Matt, you screwed up big time," and this scene too, I like how well it's drawn because it feels everything's dark around them. You see little books in the background, but by and large, the scene is dark, and he goes, "You're gonna go to ECAB," which is, just the minor court cases, and so at this point, Matt's at a pretty low point now.
Yeah, what I liked about the artwork here is that you could feel the emptiness in the
Mhm.
room, like, there is no emotion of caring, or there's nothing there that would comfort Matt at all.
No, and it even bleeds into what happens in the final pages of this book. What happens after Matt gets basically demoted?
Yeah. This this whole comic, this is the when we're setting up for the big thing, the thing that happens that's we've all been working towards. And it's with Matt and Sam, who is actually Blind Spot, who are staking out this place. They're trying to come up with an idea of what to do. And it never goes the way they want it to go because the hand is involved again. But it's not just the hand, it is the hand of the hand. It is the beast.
Yes. It is well, first this issue also ends with Ten Fingers showing up at Matt's work
Yes,
place,
yes.
and that's when he goes, you seem to think I'm some sort of villain," and it ends on this creepy shot of Ten Fingers' face. He's got his normal look, but unsettling eyes. I'd rather his green eyes. But then, yes, it takes us into this next issue before we get to the beast because this is kind of one of those filler episodes where Matt then starts working with none other than a retired, no longer has powers Captain America, who also doesn't know that he's Matt Murdock or blind because Matt made him forget too.
Yeah. There I was confused at this point because it's like, yeah, of course they know each other, but I was like, "Cap, what are you doing here? You're just chilling outside while Daredevil's handling everything." And it's like, at the in all honesty, you sent in a blind man to do this for you because 'cause you're old.
Yeah.
But in your head, you're like, "Oh, I just gotta get the best vigilante on the job." And it's like, "What are you doing here, though?" Because Daredevil called you. And you were just like, "You know what? I have something we can do. I have an activity."
Hey, so yeah, because Matt calls him because he essentially wants to confess basically everything. But then Steve's got him up here defusing a bomb, which is hilarious because he goes, "How much time's left on the bomb?" And Matt can't see it. And then he doesn't, he's like, "I can't tell him I'm blind." And in that moment, he goes, "Crap." So he's got to go out of his way to basically beat down the bad guy and force him into defusing the bomb, or else they both blow up. And it was just kind of hilarious to me in this moment where Matt goes, "Dang it, I'm blind." He has all the powers in the world almost, but he can't see how much time is left on this bomb, and I don't know why that was hilarious to me.
I died when he's like, "I can't see it," and, Cap being Cap's like, "It's okay, we'll get through this. Okay, take the green wire," and he's like, "Bro?"
I
Like
know in his head, he goes, "Wait, he doesn't know I'm blind. I don't know which one is which." And again, I'm just sitting there laughing because I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's a good point." Matt doesn't really ever mess with bombs because he can't tell which wire is what and how much time. I go, "Oh god, that sucks."
and the fact that he got so desperate, he went and pulled a villain and was like, "How do I stop this?" It's
"Hey,
like
man, we're both gonna die right now. Let's get real crazy. Please stop this for me." And luckily he does. But yeah, it was interesting too because Steve, his super soldier serum stopped working. So he's old. He's still hanging around for some reason. And that just felt like a little snippet before we get back to the main story, which is, hey, Ten Fingers pulls up on Matt's work and he's pretty much saying, "I'm stealing people's powers and stuff, buddy."
so, a little bit back to Cap, if any of our listeners understand, because I didn't. I know we missed something. What did Matt do to make him erase people's memories?
I
Because
honestly
Cap,
forgot because there was that point where everybody knew who he was,
yeah,
and then because I'm pretty sure this also leads into the Devil's Reign storyline down the road, where because even Kingpin was like had forgotten, and it starts to come back to him, which leads into
yeah.
why the Devil's Reign storyline. But I'm going to be honest, I forgot what had happened.
I feel like when you go to look up these details, you kinda get lost in that, and it takes away the impact of the story you're reading.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree with that too.
Yeah. So Cap's like says, like, he doesn't really know Daredevil, and Daredevil's like, "You used to know. I wanna tell you everything." That's why he calls him, so he can confess why he doesn't remember these things, and even if you don't know, it still hits pretty hard, like, Daredevil's really going through some shit here.
He
But
is.
so we are at the final comic. We are at number 5. We are at the big thing where we see people's true colors are really showing. First of all, blind spot.
Yeah.
Sir, you
Hey, mom.
you kept that secret close to your chest, and I appreciate it, but at the same time, like, what are we doing? His mom is very high up in the ranks of 10 Fingers, which is not ideal. Not ideal at all.
Not at all. Not at all. It's going to lead to some things. But I do remember now. Okay, I looked it up. Matt used the purple children. So the children of the purple man, he
Oh!
amplified their mind control powers via their
Yeah.
father's technology. And that's how, because things had gotten crazy with Kingpin and everything, and he needed to restore his
Mm,
essential, make people forget. And so he went and used them, and they ended up getting locked up, which leads into their role in the, Devil's Reign storyline.
yeah.
But essentially, it was Miller was driven insane and was killing innocent man after being subjected to Mr. Fear's psychedelic drug. And so her parents forced Matt to sign annulment papers. So Matt was married to her and she was in a mental hospital. Matt found himself take on the hand leadership at this point to prevent Kingpin from taking over the hand. And after all goes down, this is, the whole Shadowland storyline. And that's when he defeats Purple Man, liberates the criminal's children, and they return the favor by using their father's technology to make everybody forget that he is Daredevil. So that's what happened.
I forget about the Purple Children. I haven't
Yeah.
thought about the Purple Children since the last time I read Devil's Reign.
Yeah, I did too,
Underrated.
because this was the storyline before. That's because Matt becomes possessed, corrupted by the beast, and everything like that. This was another Charles Soule run, I believe. And so and ultimately just leads Matt and Kirsten McDuffie, who Kirsten then moves to San Francisco after he publicly decides to out himself as Daredevil. And then he regrets the decision. And then Foggy Nelson is the only one who remembers. And that's because Matt became the demon, the beast. He takes over the hand. So all that happened before this. Matt just still has the black suit from all of this time. Uh, there we go.
Like,
It
he
took a
kept it
minute,
one
we had to get
kept
back on
one
track.
good thing.
Yeah.
It's so hard because we're not reading them in order. So
We're
it's like,
that's why too, because we're definitely not. We're
yeah,
going off of, hey, if whatever runs people want us to do, that's how we're reading it. So with comics, right, there's so much lore, it
yeah,
makes me forget where things happen in the timeline. Devil's Reigns down the road. I forgot about the Purple Children.
I
God
do
dang it!
too.
How could I forget about the Purple Children? They're
There's a
people
lot of
too.
mental gymnastics going into this
There is.
podcast.
But yeah, take
So
us to the finale now. We're getting down to the thick of things.
so there's actually some really great moments for all the characters, none for Ten Fingers, who sucks, by the way.
I mean,
But
he's getting it with Sam's mom. I
yeah,
guess that's a good moment for him, right?
he's
Like,
getting it with everyone's mom
poor
because he
Sam
was
rolls
getting
up and he's like, "Mom, get off of him."
he's like, "Hey, I see you're busy." So Sam is there. He is there to talk to his mom about, getting out. What is she doing? And she's like, she's a pretty trashy mom, to be honest with you.
I'd say she's
And
best.
yeah. And blind spot, he's like, actually, mom, I'm blind spot. I'm your enemy. And she's like, oh, why? And Ten Fingers, who just so happens to be listening, which is rude, is like, you have to take out your son. You got to
Hey,
take him out. He's our
I
bad
hate to
guy.
break up this reunion, but he's not loyal, take him out. And yeah, that leads into them fighting in that scene where he disappears except for his mask for some reason.
Yeah, I get I don't know. I get why they did it because, Daredevil's not in that scene, so what would we be looking at? I get it.
They could have done it like the heat sig I don't know. They could have got whatever. I'll let it
It's
pass.
just
I'll
such
let
an
it pass.
awkward mask to have by itself. I
It
think that's
is.
what it gets me. Like, you could I don't know.
Could have done something.
You guys draw Invisible Miles Morales all the time.
That's I think where I was
Yeah,
kind of at. Like we could have
yeah.
found a way, but that's just a minor nitpick, I guess. It ultimately doesn't affect anything. I surprisingly, that
It's
never
just
really comes
funny.
to bite him at all. It was
Yeah.
more of just funny when we get these moments and it's just his outline of his mask in front of, and I think it is what it is, but ultimately
It's
we do get the beast appearing with
yes.
this.
So the beast, for those who do not know, is the hand's right hand.
They
Uh,
basically use a lot of devil magic, and they don't
yeah,
do it
they
often because it takes a lot, I guess.
it takes 100 sacrifices of their own people to use, which is like, you know, who votes for that? Who
How do
makes
you
that
pick
decision?
100 people of the hand to sacrifice themselves? I'm very curious how that works out. Hey, you didn't reach your quota this month, so you unfortunately, whenever we gotta call upon the beast, you're gonna be up for auction, buddy.
I like to think that's like it's very much like the Daredevil series on that was on Netflix,
Yeah,
where they hand people they're so willing to give their life for this organization, they're like, "I'll do it."
I think
They're
that's
all
what
just kinda
it is.
waiting.
I do think that's ultimately probably what it is because they're also in a cult. The hand is a supernatural cult at the same time. But they do bring the beast. And I like the way he's drawn. It kind of sets him aside. And we kind of got a little bit of the beast when in the live action, not so much. It was more dealing with like Elektra and how all of that. But I like how Matt decides that, hey, this thing isn't living, which means I can take the gloves off and I could really lay some kill shots. And those are some of my favorite moments when Matt just kind of unleashes hell and really gets to not worry about killing somebody and not feeling bad about it.
When he said that, he's like, "This thing isn't alive, which means I can kill it." And I was like, "But Matt, it's not alive. It doesn't die."
That was my other was like, how do you kill if it's not alive, then what exactly do you mean you can kill it and how does that happen? But comics, we can hand wave a lot of that
Yeah,
away.
it's fine. We're believing in a beast that took 100 people to die to use it. It's
Exactly.
fine.
Supernatural, and we got a guy with 10 fingers on each hand. All
Yeah.
right. So
Speaking
whatever.
of that guy with 10 fingers, he shows exactly who he is because he shares his power with his congregation. Now, wonderful listener, you're probably thinking, "Oh, that's so nice." No, it's because he's using them as a distraction. The beast is picking up who has the power and killing those folks.
And he's out here
Now,
packing his bags.
yeah, now that he's not the only one with the power, he can get out. And he is a shell of a man who is talking to himself saying, I'll just die and I'll just start over somewhere else." And it's like, how many times have you done this? 10
Yeah,
fingers?
wait a second. Start over somewhere else. First of all, do you lose your fingers when you have to start over?
I wanna know.
Or how does this go? How does this play out for you if you're starting over again? Like, oh God, this is the fourth time in 10 years. I can't keep doing this.
This damn beast, man.
God, they keep
I can't
finding
do it
me.
again. But yeah,
I'm
so
very
that's what that
curious.
that ugly bastard does. And so a shining moment in this was Blind Spot, who was already there. Ten Fingers ordered the doors to be shut so the congregation could sacrifice itself to this beast, and he has to fight his mother, who is fine with fighting her son.
She was pretty chill about the whole thing. Really
Yeah,
was. Like, all
yeah,
right, I guess the poor kid already has to like scrounge for money for D batteries. He's got no health insurance, and now his mom couldn't care less if she fights and kills him. And it goes, geez, therapy. And he can't afford therapy because,
yeah.
again, he doesn't have insurance.
It's all on Sam's shoulders.
It
But
is.
he needs Daredevil's help. So what does he do? This genius little millennial says on his Twitter, everyone say this out loud, Daredevil, the temple. So
Yes.
everyone around Daredevil saying, Daredevil, the temple. And Matt is like, what? What
he's
is going
freaked out
on?
at first. He's like, "Why is everybody saying this?" And it's a scene that really I like a lot because it was really clever of Blind Spot to do. Hey, the temple, and I like how that scene played out because Matt's just walking around. He's like, "What is going on?" And it almost felt like a cult chanting at the same time
Yes.
because it plays into that. It's like the temple, the temple.
Yes, I thought for a split second, I was like, these people are possessed. But obviously, that's twice Charles Soule got me to think someone's possessed and they weren't.
Yeah, it's very true. Very, and that's really credit to his writing at the same time. And it's why he's so highly regarded in the, the Daredevil universe as one of the better writers with the runs, which we're definitely going to get into. I can't wait to dive into Muse and stuff like that. But it is excellent, which leads Matt to go and he fights. Ultimately, the beast is slain, if you will. But at the same time, there's a really cool scene because somebody gets in there and they have 10 fingers up on the wall pinned, but he's almost melted in a really cool artistic way with Milla and what they did. Milla and Garney just have him almost melted. He's missing an arm. His appendages are kind of like put in different places. I thought this art was awesome as he's hung up on the wall. It's very poetic.
My brain could not function. Like, I could not understand what was happening in the picture because I didn't expect it. So you flip
Same.
the page and it's just 10 fingers on the wall, but like not.
Yeah.
It's very, very Picasso. There's different body parts everywhere, and you're just kind of like, okay,
That's
okay,
fitting in for this guy.
that's where we're at. That's cool.
Yeah.
The hand got what they wanted. All good. Blind Spot saved a whole bunch of the congregation who are now very much in the know that they have been taken for a ride by this guy, which is great. Everyone knows, everyone's great. Daredevil, the day is saved, but Daredevil does have a tiny little chip on his shoulder because his Blind Spot's mom was a part of the congregation. And he's like, how do I go from here? Do I call him out on it? Do I talk to him about trust? What do I do? And it's like, first of all, Blind Spot kept you at a distance for a reason. You didn't know his name before now.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's fine. It didn't affect him at all, his performance with Matt, but it did help them when the beast attacked. So I think at this point, the best idea, let him have it. He's tired. He's had a worse day than you, believe it or not.
Well, and it's really comes full circle too because Matt has been keeping Blind Spot at an arm's length as well. So they kind of both have, but it has this really cool thing in front of the Doctor Strange type fingers that are the statue that's going on there when Matt is essentially like, "Hey man, you all right?" And Blind Spot goes, "Probably never going to be." And then he talks about how 10 Fingers is dead. And then Matt at the end of the day goes, "Hey, look, he could have chosen the wrong side, but at the end of the day, he saved everybody. He chose everybody's side. And he also understands why he did it. It's for his mom." And he goes, "Hey, I'm doing the same thing because of my dad." So it kind of and it brings them closer together and that the job never really ends. And I really like that final page where it seems as though the bond between these two has grown pretty well.
Yeah, it felt like this whole thing was a team building exercise, like
Yeah.
a metaphorical trust fall, because we do see them both kind of open up to each other and get to know each other. And we see that Daredevil can see that Blind Spot knows what he's doing in a fight and doesn't have to worry as much about him because all he's done is train him. And
Yeah.
now he's like, okay, you know what? I got my hands off. We're good. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Let's move forward. And that's kind of where this initial arc and run ends and kind of sets us up for what more is to come, which they're teasing on the return of Elektra. And can't wait to dive into that. I know that's Megan's girl there. And
That's
it's
my girl.
also really cool because Elektra kind of just starts getting into Daredevil 6 and she's going to start kind of becoming Daredevil type Elektra that we know and love a lot of. And I'm excited
Yeah.
for that as well. So that's next week's, issues 6 through 10, which I can't wait to get to. And I'm really excited to continue going through this run. Megan, tell everybody in case they forgot what our overall mission, what are we doing with these Daredevil Mondays?
We are spreading our love and joy in Daredevil. If you know Matt and I at all, especially Matt, if you've had one conversation with us, then you know that we are huge fans of Daredevil, and our friends and family are tired. They're exhausted. They can't hear anymore. So we're bringing our love to you guys, and hopefully you're returning it because all of us nerds got to stick together, especially the Daredevil nerds, especially the ones that are besides themselves with excitement because it's coming. The season 2 is coming out next
Oh
month.
my goodness. We're about a month away from the premiere of season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. And yeah, that's kind of also why we're doing it. I mean, we're getting people hyped up. We're leading into the next season. Our families are wishing they were deaf so they didn't have to hear anymore. And but also it's a great way for new listeners, new readers. If you're looking to get into Daredevil comics, we're giving you brief breakdowns, oversimplifications, if you will, each and every Monday. Make sure to subscribe to us. And then if you want more comic knowledge, comic things of what you should currently be reading, we do drop weekly comic book reviews every Wednesday on the website at 9 a.m. Eastern. Megan and Sean are two specific Marvel geniuses that have been crushing it. But it's more than just Marvel, more than DC, Image, Dark Horse, Mad Cave, Ignition. I mean, all of these they're doing lots of great things. So tune in there, make sure to subscribe, hit the notifications. And typically, we know, Megan, that people get to choose what we do next, but we're doing 30 issues of Charles Soule. So unfortunately, you got to wait until the end. But if you want to start telling us what you want to hear after Charles Soule's run, we got Zdarsky, we got Wade. There's so many other good runs out there. Make sure to let us know and take us out, Megan.
Yes. And if you want a specific run that's done before Daredevil season 2, because we don't know what's going to be in the show, but we know they pull heavily from the comics, let us
Yeah.
know. And then by the time we get there, we'll break it down for you so you are fully prepared for whatever gorgeousness Disney Plus gives us with Daredevil
And
season 2.
maybe if there's enough people clamoring for a certain thing, we'll take a break. We'll do a halftime performance for you
Maybe.
in the middle of Charles Soule's run to kind of bring in some other things. Only way is let us know in the comments here, podcast platforms, social media. You can find Megan and I'm at Hops Geek News. Megan, where are you at on social media?
I'm at Vigilante Vibes Podcast. You can look that up wherever. And we are
Find
both
that.
at Nerd Initiative, and we are both here on Man Without Fear Monday. So thank you all for listening. Thank you for checking us out. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any other videos we put out or any other things we put out because we put out so much stuff and there's
Hey,
something for everyone.
there really is. There really
There is.
is.
There
Do
is.
that. And until next time, keep your friends close. But if you're doing invisibility devices, please make sure it covers your face because people can still see the face out there. Cheers.